He's going to continue now to punish Jimmy. And another clothesline.
Welcome to your home for all things wrestling. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and click the bell for notifications so you never miss a beat in the world of WWE. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most emotionally charged and compelling confrontations to emerge in recent memory. Jacob Fatu stepping into the ring to confront Gunther, following the latter's brutal assault on Jimmy Uso. This face-off was more than just a stare-down. It was a spark that reignited a personal rivalry, a clash not only between two elite performers, but between legacy and dominance, heart and power. In this essay, we'll explore the context behind this confrontation, its emotional implications, and what it means for the future of both men as WWE heads into a new chapter. The road to confrontation. To fully understand the significance of Jacob Fatu's confrontation with Gunther, we need to rewind and examine the events that led to this volatile moment. Jacob Fatu, a rising star in WWE and a proud member of the legendary Anoa'i family, has quickly built a reputation as one of the most dynamic and physically gifted wrestlers on the roster. With a blend of raw intensity, athletic prowess, and deep-rooted family pride, Fatu represents the continuation of a bloodline that has given wrestling some of its most iconic figures. His family's influence on the wrestling industry is undeniable. From The Rock to Roman Reigns to the Usos, the Anoa'i legacy is built on respect, power, and unity. So when Jimmy Uso was blindsided and brutally attacked by Gunther, it wasn't just another storyline beat. It was personal. It was a shot fired at one of wrestling's most sacred legacies. Gunther, the reigning Intercontinental Champion, has spent the past year redefining what it means to hold that title. Known for his cold, calculating demeanor and near-inhuman endurance, Gunther has destroyed nearly every challenger placed in front of him. But his attack on Jimmy Uso signaled a turning point, not just for him, but for the WWE landscape. It was an act not of strategy, but of provocation, and it pushed Jacob Fatu to respond. For family first, the fuel behind Fatu's fury. For Jacob Fatu, wrestling isn't just a job, it's a matter of family. The Anoa'i family's contributions to the wrestling world aren't just historic, they're sacred. Every member of the bloodline who steps into a ring carries the weight of generations of greatness. When one of them is harmed, it's not a storyline, it's a legacy under attack. Fatu's bond with the Usos, particularly with Jimmy, runs deep. Their shared upbringing, their battles, their brotherhood, these aren't scripted connections. They're real, lived experiences, and that's what makes this confrontation so visceral. Gunther's attack wasn't just an act of violence. It was a challenge to the very fabric of what Jacob Fatu stands for. That's why when Fatu entered the ring to confront Gunther, the atmosphere shifted. This wasn't business. This was personal. Or the confrontation, where words cut deeper than blows. When Jacob Fatu stood across from Gunther, the energy was electric. The fans knew what was at stake. They felt the weight of every word, every glare, every movement. Fatu didn't mince words. His voice, filled with emotion, rang out with a chilling declaration. This is now personal. You attack my family. It wasn't just a promo. It was a war cry, a warning, a vow. Gunther, always calm and calculating, responded with a smirk and arrogance. He dismissed Fatu's anger as weakness, downplayed the significance of his attack, and taunted Fatu's emotional reaction. But in doing so, he underestimated the fire that fuels a man fighting for his blood. The contrast between Fatu's fiery loyalty and Gunther's cold ruthlessness made this moment unforgettable. It wasn't just about wrestling anymore. It was about pride, legacy, and the pain of betrayal. Building a feud worthy of history. This confrontation didn't just set up a match, it launched a war. And what makes this rivalry truly special is how deeply it taps into the emotional core of wrestling fans. Gunther may see himself as a champion of dominance, but he's awoken something primal in Fatu. This isn't just a fight for a title, it's a fight for justice, for respect, for vengeance. The personal nature of this feud elevates it beyond traditional storytelling. It's not just face versus heel, it's family versus tyranny, it's heart versus hubris. And WWE has a golden opportunity to let this story simmer. Backstage promos, surprise brawls, emotional interviews, strategic mind games. This is the kind of narrative that thrives over time, building anticipation for a clash that feels inevitable and essential. A collision of styles and spirit. When these two finally clash in the ring, fans can expect fireworks. Jacob Fatu brings unmatched agility for a man his size. Moonsaults, springboards, and explosive strikes that leave audiences stunned. Gunther, meanwhile, is the embodiment of controlled brutality. His knife-edge chops, crushing powerbombs, and relentless pacing make every one of his matches feel like a war. This is more than a stylistic clash. It's a philosophical one. Fatu fights with heart. Gunther fights with precision. And when those two forces meet, the result is bound to be something unforgettable. Expect Fatu to go all in, diving off turnbuckles, throwing caution to the wind. Expect Gunther to stand tall, unflinching, using every ounce of his strength to break down his opponent. It's going to be emotional, it's going to be violent, and it's going to be one of the most anticipated matchups in recent memory. Iwi fans are hooked. Social media has exploded in the wake of this confrontation. Fans are buzzing with speculation, fantasy booking, and emotional investment. Some want to see Fatu rise up and avenge his brother. Others are intrigued by Gunther's icy villainy and want to see how far he'll go. Either way, the response is loud and clear. This rivalry matters, and that's the true sign of great storytelling. Wrestling is at its best when fans aren't just watching, they're feeling. And this feud makes you feel something. It stirs anger, loyalty, anticipation. It takes you on a ride. The stakes couldn't be higher for Jacob Fatu. This isn't just about revenge. It's about proving he belongs at the very top of WWE. A win over Gunther would cement him as a main event player, a guardian of his family's legacy, and a fan favorite with the emotional range to carry a story. For Gunther, defeating Fatu would be another brick in the wall of his reign of terror. Beating a member of the Anoa'i family, one as fierce and focused as Fatu, would elevate his legend. It would show the WWE universe that not even the most respected bloodlines can withstand his rule. There's more at stake here than gold. There's legacy, identity, pride. A story bigger than wrestling. At its core, this is what makes professional wrestling so powerful. It's never just about wins and losses. It's about the stories that echo beyond the ring. Stories filled with pride, passion, betrayal, and redemption. It's about characters who evolve, who reflect real emotions, and who make fans feel something long after the lights go down. The rivalry between Jacob Fatu and Gunther is one of those stories. It's not just a feud. It's a collision between personal pride and calculated ambition. On one side stands Fatu, driven by blood, legacy, and the unbreakable bond of family. On the other, Gunther, a cold and dominant force, hungry to prove no name or legacy is untouchable. Their conflict represents more than just a personal vendetta. It represents the timeless battle between heritage and supremacy. Every promo, every stare down, every blow exchanged between these two carries weight. Fans aren't just watching, they're feeling. They're living the story alongside these men. And that's when wrestling is at its absolute best. To conclusion, the war is just beginning. Jacob Fatu's confrontation with Gunther isn't the end of something. It's the beginning of a saga. It's raw, it's real, and it taps into everything that makes the WWE Universe thrive. Emotion, conflict, and consequence. As this rivalry unfolds, the emotional stakes will only grow higher. Fatu fights with love for his bloodline. Gunther fights with hunger for absolute control. And together, they're creating a moment that could define an era. This isn't just a match, it's a movement. And the wrestling world, it'll be watching every second.